afternoon, everyone.
How y'all
I'm
doing?
so
How y'all
excited.
doing?
Yes. Welcome to Lead with Love, a conversation with myself and Tex Moton. You see Tex out there. Yes, we love y'all. A special thank you to our sponsors, Dallas Love Field, and of course, your Dallas Mavericks. Can somebody say Dallas Mavericks out there? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm Cynt Marshall. Yes, I'm Cynt Marshall, the CEO of the Mavs, and I'm joined by my friend Tex, who has been a leader in the Dallas art scene with his mural and graffiti art all over the city and beyond. And so we're going to get a chance to talk about that. In 2019, Tex created the Mavs City Edition identity for our jerseys, but our city identity overall. And just last year, Tex tagged Dallas Love Field's parking garage C. I hope you've seen it, and inside the terminal with the City Edition style. Tex, I'm excited to hang out with you for just a few minutes today. It's good to see you, my friend.
Definitely, always a pleasure, Cynt. I love working with you, dealing with you, the Mavs as a whole. So it's an honor, it's a pleasure. I'm super excited about this conversation.
Awesome. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's just get into it. Okay, I love talking about all of these topics. What we're going to talk about today. I know we'll talk a little diversity. We're going to talk art. We're going to talk leadership in the community. So I love all of that. So wherever you are in Dallas or anywhere else, because hopefully we got some folks who are joining us outside of Dallas, feel free to get your questions in. I mean, we have a way for you to do that. Okay, so let's get into it. What does the go big or go home spirit of Dallas mean to you? Tex, why don't you go ahead and start us off with that?
All right, Cynt. For me, the go big and go home spirit of Dallas, that just embodies our culture, the way we present ourselves, just that big Southern attitude. And you translate that into the Mavs culture and everything, and just the things that this team has accomplished, the unity, the diversity in the team. I think that spreads through the entire community. It's something that resonates throughout the Dallas Metroplex, and you can just feel it from the people and the energy of the city.
Yes, I love it. And I think for me, it means that we show up with big thoughts, big ideas, and frankly, big action plans too. We have that
Amen.
motto, don't just talk about it, be about it, that we
Yes.
really show up with some big action plans. And then it's bigger than just, we show up with things bigger than anybody's ever thought of. Okay, things that most people would think are impossible. But
Amen.
Nelson Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it's done. And so
Amen.
when we go
Amen.
big or go home in Dallas, we're talking about doing the impossible and sticking with it until it's done. Yeah. Love that. Love
Definitely.
that. Okay. So what inspired the City Edition style for the Mavs? Oh my gosh. Now, Tex, I know the answer to this, but tell the people where that inspiration came from.
So for me, when we got together on this, when we was working on this project for a while back before it came to fruition, but it was a couple of things. It was a combination of translating my artistic style into, the street art culture and everything that is seen around Dallas. So what we want to do was kind of be able to funnel that energy and that excitement into a visual representation for the players to play in and for the city to embrace. So it's a graffiti inspired thing, but it's really just a culmination of the whole art culture in Dallas and everybody that's a part of that scene and produces their part in that culture.
I still see a lot of people in those jerseys in that style. I remember when it came out, we just went crazy. The people were going crazy. They're like, look at the Mavs. It was just crazy. So thank
Yeah,
you
it's
for that
really, really
inspiration.
cool.
Yeah, thank you for that inspiration and just taking us, frankly, to a whole new level and to a place, frankly, that we had never really been before. I think it got people really thinking about the Mavs in a different kind of way, and frankly, helped us really to appeal to a new audience as well. So thank you
Definitely.
for
And it
that.
was in a great time with the transition period of the team. So it just kind of spoke to that new life that the Mavs were taking on.
Yeah, we needed that. Okay, what makes love feel a good fit for the Mavs and the art? Now, I got to tell you, pre-COVID, I traveled a lot. And so I would walk through the Dallas Love Field Airport and think, oh my goodness, we ought to be in here. Like we truly ought to be here and in here. And you know how I am, Tex, kind of like world domination, takeover spirit. I'm like, we got to do a takeover of this airport. And of course, when I start to envision a complete takeover, having the Mavs out there, a whole new look, of course, you know who I thought about. There's one person who I know who carry out that vision for us, and that's of course you, Tex. So it was. Thank you for like really leading and carrying out that vision. Why did you think it was a good fit for us?
I just think, I mean, it was an interesting time, obviously, with COVID hitting, and I just think it was something that we could do to obviously speak to the team spirit, but just also to uplift everybody, and their coming and goings, and it gave us an opportunity with the airport being down traffic wise for a while, that when everybody got a chance to start to come back to travel, they got something that was warm and inviting and spoke to them from this city. So I think it was a great opportunity in the weird time frame to do something that just could touch people.
I like that. I like that too, because the timing actually worked out great for us. And you mentioned it. It's like I had this vision kind of pre-COVID. And then by the time, we put all the plans together, and I don't know if you go into a room and just get a vision. I don't know what you do, what your process is, but it is good. So by the time you came back with it, we were at a point where we were totally into COVID. The travel was down, and it was a good time for y'all to get into the airport, get into the parking garage, get into the terminal, and do what you do. And I've been in there, and I got to tell you, the feeling that I had when I saw it is exactly what I envisioned, that when people would start to come back, because I think this is a part of our comeback. When people would start to come back, I mean, you're helping with that whole spirit, with that whole vibe. So we appreciate that. Just appreciate that. So hopefully people are walking. I mean, as we start to travel again, people will see it, and it's incredible. One of my favorites is where I won't ruin it for people. They got to go see it. I won't ruin it because I have a lot of favorites of what you've done, and it's just incredible. And there's one, and I won't tell them what it is, but the way it happens, it's a visual of bringing people together. This whole notion of inclusion and what we talk about and bridging the divides. So I won't tell it, but you can just imagine how you brought some things together.
Yeah, and it's a complete immersive experience from when the travelers get in there, from entering the parking garage level C, all the way through to their terminal, to their gate. I mean, you are feeling it. It's a message that speaks to the community.
And that's it. I mean, you want to feel it. I mean, you truly want to feel it. And you feel the spirit of the Mavs, you feel the spirit of Dallas, you think big and global and all that, but then you also think local, individual, personal. Let's communicate with each other. Let's bring this together. So I can't wait for people to see it. Okay. What does lead with love mean to you, and how do you practice it? Okay, Tex, you gotta let me start with this one. Because this is one of my favorites. For me, when I think about leading with love and all that, it's all about 3 L's. And I try to practice it. I've tried to practice this in every job I've had, and I definitely tried to practice it at the Mavs. I believe as a leader, there are 3 things that I need to really do. I need to listen to our people. I need to learn from our people, because as leaders, you don't know everything. And then I need to love our people. And I call it my 3 L's. Truly, truly love them as people. Not just as employees, but as people. Love that person who gets up out of bed in the morning and walks into our doors, because that's who we want. We don't want them to change. So those are my 3 L's. That's how I lead. If I can listen to them, if I can learn from them, and if I truly love them, then I can lead them. And that's how I lead with love. What about you?
That's a great perspective. For me, being an artist, my love, I think, comes across in my artwork. But what I typically try to do is, when I want the viewer to experience the feelings that I associate with love, that warmth, that friendliness, that openness. So when I see somebody who might not be having the best day, and they walk by one of my murals and they stop for a minute and they look up and they take that in, and you can see a smile kind of come on their face, I think that's when I have the ability to touch somebody and actually kind of show my love through my art form to them. And that's what one of my gifts that God has given me to the world is to speak through my artistic language.
And he has given you a gift. And so you expressed that even early on. You did some other work for us when you helped us kind of put a whole different environment. Because as you know, we were transforming our culture internally, but you helped us actually to transform our physical workspace. And so I remember that day when we unveiled everything, and truly it was a labor of love. I remember that day when we unveiled everything and we told everybody, okay, we checked off everything off our 100-day plan. And we said, okay, everybody go outside. And you had been doing all your work at night. You remember this?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
I mean, truly a labor of love, covering things up. And so then that day we said, okay, we checked off the last thing. Everybody go outside. You unveiled everything. And then we walked back in. It was beautiful. I mean, truly, I let the team back in. You're talking about leading with love. It was beautiful. And you had our values up on the wall, our mission statement, all that. But what I love the most is you had a wall in the back. It was beautiful, where we each got a chance to put our hands in that gray paint and put our handprint up on the wall, basically saying we were all in and we were all in this together. And people were just hugging. That was pre-COVID, okay? People were hugging and all that. And it just truly put a spirit of love into the place. So it was more than just what you put up on the wall was great, but the way you did that extra touch to have us be a part of what you had actually done. It's like we were an extension of your artwork. What made you even go there like that? Because it truly was a love thing.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just, for me, that experience doing it in the office, I mean, that y'all do so much for the city and to do something for y'all and draw that community in at that point. And I feel like y'all being a part of the art just creates an environment, and it fills the workplace with the spirit of togetherness and happiness. So that was just, I thought was a cool idea to merge it all together so we could all be on the same page.
I want to do something like that again. I mean, as we have people, we start to travel again a lot, and people going through the airport and all that, that's going to be fabulous. I want to create that whole vibe, because it is a vibe that you feel when you're going through that airport and when you're seeing all of this now. I want to create that in our workspace once we return back to work, because we're still working from home. Once we get back in there, so you and I need to collaborate again. So you can,
that'd be fun.
I want the folks to feel the love when we come back. People have gone through a lot. I mean, everybody's going through a lot. And that's what I love about what you've done there at the airport, because no matter what's on people's minds and what they're going through, they come through there and they see that, and there's love there and there's a warmth there. I want you to create that for us again when we start to bring folks back into work.
Definitely. Be my pleasure.
We can do that. All right. Let's see. How do you get people involved and excited about doing the hard work that it takes to cause change? Oh, my goodness. All right. Let me start with that. I think you have to start with the why. You have to, you describe the change, but then you have to talk about why the change. Help people understand why it matters to them. When I got to the Mavs, a lot, part of the change that we talked about, our cause was about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so we had to spend time talking about why is that important to people? What is the business case around that? Why is it important to have a diverse group of people around the table? Why is it important to include people? What does that mean for them? And to help people to understand how that, yes, that impacts is a good thing to do, but it impacts dollars and cents. It impacts your career. It impacts your ability to be able to collaborate with others and get a bigger picture. So that's one thing that I've really tried to do is set the tone, because leaders have to set the tone, and then they have to involve people. That's what those one-on-ones with every single person in the organization was about when I got there. That's what you helped us create by everybody putting their handprint on the wall to really say, I'm a part of this, and the reason, and to understand why they were a part of it. Because you remember, you also had us talk about what that meant to us and had people share and all that. So the big thing, I think, is to get people involved and to get them involved as early as possible. So what are your thoughts on that? How do you get people involved? How do you get them to want to do this hard stuff?
Definitely. I think something, in my opinion, that people always get behind is a genuine sense from a person. You know what I mean? So I think, you can stand there, you can give the greatest pep talk or something, but if somebody doesn't connect with that emotion, that spirit behind what you're saying, I think it's harder for them to get on board. And when it's from inside of you and you're saying it out to people and they feel that, I think that's where that connection happens. And that's what people want to get on board. They're not just hearing the message, they're not just hearing the new approaches, but they're actually, wanting to live it out because they feel a part of it themselves. And I think people long to make everything better. You know what I mean? So if it's a workplace environment, everybody wants a great place to work. It's like everybody wants a great country to live in. Everybody wants a happy home life and stuff. So I think if you can get them to the point where they feel like they're actually an ingredient or a part of that whole thing come together, that's when it becomes something special. To me,
Oh,
it's almost like a recipe. You're cooking something beautiful at that point.
yes, yes. Oh, Tex, let me jump on that. And I also want to remind the audience that this whole recording is going to be posted on the website later today. And then I also want to remind folks that can get their questions in. You are so absolutely right about it being special. I think about our Mavs Take Action plan. When we had all the unrest last summer with the George Floyd killing and all that, a lot of courageous conversations were happening internally. Then we took it out to the community and said, let's have a broader conversation. But a conversation, and it was entitled Listen, Learn, Unite. But it was a conversation to lead to action. I mean, unite around what? And so we came up with our Mavs Take Action plan. And action standing for advocacy, communication, training, investment, outreach, and noise. And that noise was all about the art, the music. I mean, just all of that.
Yeah,
You helped us
yeah,
with some of those initiatives. But it started with courageous conversations and everybody getting involved in Mavs Take Action. Everybody putting their thoughts into what those initiatives should be about. I'm not talking about just the Black people. It was everybody. Everybody
yeah,
talking about their thoughts on how we could contribute as a basketball team. How we're natural conveners, but how can we truly help to drive social justice and help to eliminate some of these racial disparities and really drive some sustainable change. All of our people had so many thoughts around that. And so now we have Mavs Take Action. It's out there. It's 40 initiatives. It's at least $5 million, 10,000 volunteer hours. And it represents the collective thinking of just about everybody in our organization. And we know that's hard work. We know the work we're
yes,
doing around diversity, equity, equality, inclusion, justice. We know that's hard work, but everybody is engaged. And I think you're right. They felt that this was something special that we could actually rally around and contribute. And we know it's hard stuff, but we're just trying to do our part, and everybody's pretty jazzed about it.
definitely. Yeah, that's beautiful.
You got to help us. I think you got to help us a little more with the noise piece, the art piece. We got some stuff coming out. Well, we got the whole huddle thing. We got this thing where we're having this monthly dialogue, these monthly conversations around things that really are important in our community, and we have a whole arts piece in our Mavs
Yeah,
Take Action plan because, I mean, as you can attest and you can let people know, art has so much to do with how we think, feel, and can help us bridge these divides and move some things together. So
definitely. Art has crossed so many bridges for me, and put me in so many different rooms that, like I said, I can speak without even opening my mouth through that art form. You know what I mean? So like it's definitely powerful, and I think its power comes from the emotion that it gives people. You know what I mean? And emotion at the core of it all. It's such a powerful thing. You know what I mean? So it's a blessing.
It really is. I tell people a lot that now some people argue with this, but I say I don't really see myself as a creative art kind of person. I just don't. But I have these 4 kids who are all, as you know, adopted out of the foster care system, and
Yeah,
they all have their stories, and their stories that will make you cry. But I have literally seen art bring life to these kids. I've
amen.
seen and you know my kids, and you know one of my sons, and I thank you for kind of pouring into him. I literally saw art give them life. And I mean, literally overnight one time, my son would barely talk when we adopted him. And through music and through art and graphic arts and some things that people had given him to work on, we saw him literally come to life. So we cannot underestimate the power of art and text power of what you are doing. And I know you have stories too where you have seen it come to life. It is
Definitely. It is life. You know. So
it is life.
Yep.
Okay. So let's see. I think we've got some rapid fire questions coming up. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
I think we're just supposed to give like one answer, but since it's our own show and we're doing what we want to do, and I'm 61 years old and I'm a big girl now, do what I want to do, we might have 2 or 3 answers for rapid fire. Let's just go. Okay, put the first one up there. Let's do this. Okay, what would you say is your best personality trait? Okay, Tex, what is it? What's your best personality trait?
I think being genuine for me, you know what I mean? So, you know, whether it's just how you perceive me from my outfits or my art form or the way I speak, you know, it's going to be me, you know what I mean? So I think genuine is a word I would use for sure.
Yes, and I love your outfits. You know, I try to spice it up a little bit. You like this scarf?
Always.
You know,
You're always you saucy.
I did this just for you because normally maybe I just wouldn't even have the scarf on. I just come out with my pearls and my navy. I'm like, I got to spice it up for Tex. Okay.
I appreciate
All right.
it. Very
Okay.
nice.
And then you got the hat on, so we're matching, bro. Okay, so my best personality trait, and I got a few of them, but I think my best one is that I'm nice. That I am truly, thank goodness, thank God, a nice person. And one of my favorite books is The Power of Nice: How to Conquer the Business World with Kindness. I think there's just no substitute for being kind to people, for being nice to people. Yes, I can be a businesswoman, executive, all that stuff. I can be mommy and all that. I have to be nice. It just starts with being nice. And I just think a nice gesture, and when you're genuinely nice, you're not faking it. I think that goes a long way with people. It goes a long way.
It definitely does. Yeah.
Okay, so authenticity, yours is being genuine and authentic, and you are, and that's one of the many things I love about you. And then mine is being nice. Okay, what's the next rapid fire? What is your walk-on song, and why that song? Okay, you already know what mine is. It's Ain't No Mountain High Enough. And so sometimes I go with the Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell version. And then sometimes I go with the Michael McDonald version because, you know, diversity and inclusion. So I want to include everybody, right? And I love it. And the reason that song is my go-to song, my walk-on song, it's a song that gets me through life because I've gone through a lot of things in life. And what I have learned in all the things that I have gone through, whether it's my childhood or in my career, my personal life, trying to have kids and all that, I have found out that there really ain't no mountain high enough to keep people from getting to each other. Whatever you need, you can call me. I'll be right there. I know I have people in my life who have shown me that there was no mountain high enough in my life that I had to climb where they weren't right there for me. And so now I try to practice that with other people. Whatever it is, I got you. We can climb this mountain together. It's all about teamwork, us working together to get it done. And there really ain't no mountain high enough to keep me from getting.
For sure.
I'm going to be there. So that's my song. What's your song?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, walk-on song. Well, you know, at Corbett, I love rock music. So I'm gonna go with the one that everybody that knows me would typically say fits my personality as far as my apparel aesthetic. I'm gonna do Back in Black AC/DC. You know what I mean? Just because I think that gets the juices flowing. It's got an attitude to it. I'm 90% of the time drenched in black apparel and black garb, black robing. And it's that Johnny Cash mentality, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it's power in that color,
Yeah.
you know, and it has multiple applications for me. But yeah, Back in Black AC/DC.
I love that. Ooh, I love that. Now, you know, we could just take this show into a whole new dimension right off that because black is good. Okay, black is good. Okay, this says describe yourself with a hashtag. Okay, it said don't cheat with your personality trait. We got this. We got this. Okay, so what's your hashtag? Describe yourself with the hashtag, and this is where you could do 2 or 3 if you want to, unless the
All right,
producer
okay.
cut us off.
And now you're gonna do that to us.
Okay.
Let's see. Hashtag. Multiple applications, sauce. I mean, it's relevant in today's culture, but for me, that is the ingredient that makes everything work out. So, like for me, that speaks to the way I get up in the morning and I approach my day, the being thankful. I put the sauce on the day in the morning. I put the sauce on my body with my garb. I put the sauce in the art and the creations I make. You know what I mean? So splash the sauce on everything.
I love that. Multiple applications sauce. We don't have to use that one. Hashtag sauce, baby. I love that. Okay. So mine is a saying that my mother-in-law who passed away last year used to say it often: blessed and highly favored. And we know that comes out of the Bible. But that describes me. That I am hashtag blessed and highly favored. Because you know the Lord has to me, and favor is all over my life. I mean, where I come from, I probably shouldn't be sitting here in this chair, but you know what? The Lord said something else. I'm blessed and highly favored. I also have hashtag don't play. Okay, because you know I say that all the time. Don't play. Okay, we didn't come to play. Okay, I mean, like, don't play. We have something to get done. We have some business to handle. We're going to have fun because you know I like to have fun, but don't play. We got some stuff to handle. Okay.
Yeah,
and then
sure.
hashtag handling my business is one too. I got a whole lot of hashtags to describe. Describe me. Okay. Okay, let's see. Favorite restaurant to order from and what do you usually get? Okay, so I'll start with this one. Okay. I love sushi, but I'm not using that one. Okay, my favorite restaurant that I have like really kind of like fallen in love to during COVID, I don't know if it's because it's comfort food or whatever, is Maggiano's. And my favorite dish from there is 4-cheese ravioli. Because I call myself at some point, I'm like, okay, so I don't have to have meat. But I can have all the cheeses and all the sauce and all of that. So 4-cheese ravioli.
With the sauce, with the sauce.
Sauce. Hashtag sauce. Okay, what's yours?
Sure. So I'm from the Grove. I'm from Pleasant Grove, and you know, everybody from the Grove, we all meet up at Gonzalez. You know what I'm saying, right off of Buckner and Bruder. So for me, that's gonna be Gonzalez Mexican Tex-Mex restaurant, and the Huevos con Fajitas. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna put me right Saturday morning. That's gonna get me all the way right. So yeah, shout out to Gonzalez.
Ooh, I love that. I love Tex-Mex too. Okay, you gotta take me over there. When we get together and we're gonna be in our masks. We're gonna be 6 feet apart. When we get together to start our collaboration on what we're going to do for our building for folks to come back, you'll have to take me over there.
Definitely.
I got to get there. Okay. All right. You're going to have to answer this one. Okay.
Okay.
You're going to
My
have
favorite
to
airport. Yeah.
Okay. So favorite airport. And it's close to downtown.
It's easy because I mean it's the topic that this whole conversation is built around. You know what I mean? So my favorite airport, Love Field. You know what I'm saying? So close to the center of Dallas, all the way out. You know what I'm saying? Take you anywhere you need to go. Shout out to Love Field.
I love it. Shout out to Dallas Love Field. All right. What's one takeaway that you want to leave the audience with today? And so one of the things that I've been talking a lot about, and I think it's in the spirit of Black History Month, and then also the recent celebration that we've had with, recognizing the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It's just made me think a lot about one of his favorite quotes that says, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. And so kind of to summarize that, I would say my takeaway is let's lead with light and love. That's how I think we're going to get through this pandemic. Both pandemics, the COVID-19 health crisis and the social justice desire that we have in this country. So let's lead with light and love and be very intentional every morning about saying, I'm going to be that light. I am going to show love and to make it very personal and to lead in that way. What about you, Tex?
Yeah, that's very good. I mean, that speaks to the core of it all right there. So I'll piggyback that. I just think that where we are in society and the culture right now, I think it's really easy for people to be kind of down. Spirits can be low if you let them. So I think just acknowledging like everybody's importance. You know, we all come together. We all are key players in this game. So I think that if I could let anybody leave anybody or anything, it's just that how important you actually are. Even though at times it might not feel like it, everybody does something. You impact people whether you know it or not, just from being around them. You know what I mean? Like I said, simple smiles or words or gestures, they touch people. You know what I'm saying? So you can't ever undervalue your ability to touch a person and leave an impact.
I agree with that. We all have a role to play. There's no like little person, big person. We all have a role to play. And we're intertwined. We are part of each other's lives. Oh, I love that. I love that. I see here that one person has a question for me that says, how can we make sure young girls know that, and this is from Dawn. Thanks, Dawn, for being out there. How can we make sure that young girls know that leadership is a realistic path for them? Sometimes, and I say it often, and for the most part, it's real. Every now and then, maybe you don't have to see it, but usually you can't be it if you can't see it. And sometimes, I guess you can be it if somebody just tells you about it, but it's better to see it. And it's better to see it and to have role models, to have people there to say, ooh, I can do that too. So I think we need to expose our young girls, expose them to leadership positions, expose them to industries where the industries that are male dominated, expose them to all of that and help them see themselves. Because even if there's not anybody there right now, help them know that they can be a part of that. And then to get them some mentors who will put them in these spaces. I know that's what happened to me in my life as a kid. I had teachers, people in the community just exposed me to things that, frankly, I didn't even know existed, and exposed me to leaders and women in leadership that I didn't even know was possible. So, yeah. Okay, Tex, what's next for you and your art? We know one thing that's next is you're coming to the Mavs headquarters to help us figure out how to come back. What's next?
Definitely that, and that's going to be a great project. For me, I think I got a big thing going on for this year. We are, reintroducing one of the brands that first kind of opened me up to the public eye, Yums, as my footwear company with my partners through Already Design. So we're relaunching that this year. So expect some new flavors, some new art perspectives from me, interpreted through the footwear category.
Ooh, that's awesome. I got some footwear guys in my family.
Definitely. Believe you me, I know.
My sons are into it. Shout out
Yeah.
to Ricky in Houston and Ken Anthony in Marina Del Rey. Shout out to them. You know they're into that footwear. So they'll be watching.
Yeah.
They'll keep me
Definitely.
posted. Okay, let's see. Dawn again says, I love you, Dawn. Tell me later where you're located. Dawn, it says, and what does it take for a woman to dominate in a traditionally male environment like basketball? And thank you for loving this conversation. And we love you too, Dawn. I think what it takes is confidence. So we have to teach it to our girls early. It takes a true love for people. Okay, you have to truly love the people you're working with, love the people you're working, you're working for. Now, I love my boss, Mark Cuban. I do. You have to really have a passion for the work, and I have a passion for people. And you have to know that you belong. There's a song, a gospel song by Donnie McClurkin that says, "I'm walking with authority." And that's how I come in. I mean, and I grew up working in telecommunications and technology. So I grew up in a male-dominated industry. And so this is pretty much the same. And you walk in there with authority because you know you are supposed to be there. And then you need a lot of support around you from the women and the men to let you know you are supposed to be there. So Don, walk with authority and you raise them with authority. Okay, what else is out there? Tex, What would you tell the youth that want a career in art or design? That's a good one because we got a lot of them watching out there. What would you tell them?
Shout out to Julia for that question. So I think what I would tell them is, you're gonna have your own perspective on things. Whether that's a brand that you feel inside your spirit that you want to bring to the world, or it's just the direction that you can apply to other brands to help them kind of tap into a younger market. But you have to genuinely believe in what your vision is. You know what I mean? Everybody has a vision, and they have a platform to bring that out. So I think the confidence, get back to what you said, Cynt, the confidence in yourself, the confidence in your vision, and believing in that. And then surrounding yourself with a team that can help you execute your vision is tremendously important. You know what I mean? No man is an island. You can't do it by yourself. So it takes an entire team to pull it through. But I think people who make change in the environment, in the landscape, and the culture, they have a finite vision and they believe in it wholeheartedly.
I love that. When you say no man is an island, I thought about when I was in college. I was 19 years old, and we had this, what I thought at the time was corny stuff that we did. So every Monday night, we had something called Vespers. And so we would end up singing this song at the end of it. And this is where all the 110 my sorority sisters would come together. And the song that we sung, believe it or not, was No Man is an Island. And at 19 years old, I thought this is the corniest song. And then as I got older, I really start paying attention to the words that said, no man is an island, no man stands alone. Each man's joy is joy to me. Each man's grief is my own. We need one another, so I will defend each man as my brother, each man as my friend. Of course, substitute woman too. You think about those words right now. You think about those words right now that you just said, no man is an island. I mean, we need each other. People are grieving. They're going through so much. We truly do need each other. And so now all these years later, that actually really means something to me now. But I learned it at 19. I'm glad you said that. No man is an island. No woman is an island. We need each other. Okay. What else is on the screen here? This is for me. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Ray. Any advice for women of color navigating the sports industry and how to champion people that are underrepresented? My advice is kind of what I said earlier, to get in there, to really learn the industry. Whatever I'm in, and when I worked for AT&T, I had 14 different jobs. Okay, 13,088 days. Okay, every day I tried to learn something. I tried to learn something new about my industry, about the project I was working on. So to really just dig in, don't be afraid of it, to know that you are supposed to be there. And then to get you what I call a personal board of directors, your sponsor, your mentor, a pusher, and a lifter. I mean, people who are going to push you to be as good as any of the fellas in the room. And then somebody who's going to lift you up when your spirits get down. Somebody who's going to help you train for what you have to do anywhere, and train for that career that you want to have and where you want to go. And then somebody who's like an agent who's actually going to put you in the game. Have all of those people in your life and check in with them regularly.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody says, I don't want to read that. Does that say now we have to say goodbye? Are they talking to us? Are they trying to tell us we have to leave?
Yeah, like we have to come to that point, huh?
No, we don't want to leave. I love hanging out with you. I haven't seen you for a while, so it's just so good to see you. I want to say thank you so much for how you have helped me to lead with love. Thank you for what you have done for us on so many different levels, and the presence that you've now given us at Dallas Love Field Airport, and your contribution, frankly, to helping Dallas rebound. We appreciate you, and we love you, man.
Definitely love y'all. Appreciate everything, Cynt, and you just keep leading with love. You keep, flying the flag for everybody. So love you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, we're out. You can see this on the website a little bit later. Thank you for joining us. Let's all lead with love.